What's going on, everyone? Gilman with Wellthy Stocks back with another Palantir update video, ticker symbol PLTR, where we take a look at how Palantir stock traded today, key levels of support and resistance that we have coming up moving into the future, and based on that, what we think Palantir stock could do. So real quick, if you enjoy videos like this, don't forget to hit that like button down below, subscribe to my channel if you are new, and comment down below what your thoughts on Palantir are, and I'd love to chat with you guys down there. So let me hit record and we will get right into it. So actually, Palantir was one of the few stocks that was green today, at least in my portfolio. We are up about $1.14, and that's 4.83%. It should be a quick update, cover the price action. We've talked about, kind of a lot of the catalysts that have come up recently in some of my previous videos, if you watch those. But the reason we're up today actually is because Palantir was ARK Invest added more Palantir shares. They bought over 2.6 million Palantir shares, and this is, I think, the third or fourth time that they've bought it. So that's great news for us Palantir holders. They've continued to add it, and I think every time it kind of dips a little, they've bought it, which is great news. It means they're bullish, continuing to add to their position and hold, not only holding but continuing to add, right? Great news for us. The other thing that I want to talk about is, with the recent Goldman Sachs update, with the recent 3M deal, with their supply chain, the IBM deal, I think, this makes Palantir, for me at least, a pretty attractive company, which is why I continue to hold them in my portfolio, even though, we've fallen from, trading in the 40s and then trading in the 30s and now trading in the mid 20s. My cost actually is about $1 below where we are right now, because I've been invested for a little while. So we were up and then we've now been down again, right? So let's take a look at how it traded today. We'll talk about other key levels of support and resistance that we have coming up and what we think that could mean for the stock moving forward. So yesterday when I was, making the video, that's when we saw the kind of spike. Now we know it's related to ARK and their purchase. So in the pre-market today, right, we kept bouncing off of this 2362 level. And then we pushed up pre-market, sold off a little bit below our 2362 level here by about 30-40 cents. But as you can see, right, only briefly came up, bounced, and then pushed up. And then from that point on, what I like seeing was the staying above VWAP, bouncing. Unfortunately, got rejected at our 2539 level again. Sold off, bounced off VWAP, sold off, this time making a low of 2305. Did not like seeing that, right? And then kind of pushed up, ran up into the close, solidifying the $24 level as a good level of support. So what I want to cover here is future levels of support and resistance, but real quick, if you've been with me for a little bit, you know exactly what I'm about to say here. So we were trying to catch this breakout, which took us from kind of the mid 20s to the mid 30s, and then that took us to 45. We sold off, we ran up into earnings, we sold off after earnings and with the lockup expiration, and then since then this downfall has been due to a couple things. It's been due to the overall market selling off as well, especially growth stock names that we've grown to see going up in the past few months, but also because the Palantir lockup expiration period ended, which means a lot of the insiders holding a ton of shares were now able to sell their shares, and we saw that happening. But as I covered in yesterday's video, right, a lot of these insiders that sold a bunch of shares actually have a ton more shares. So the amount that they sold, although it did cause a little bit of a selling pressure on the stock as a lot more shares were becoming available, what we want to keep in mind is that a lot of these insiders are holding on to a majority of their shares, which means that they remain bullish on the company. Obviously, if they were selling off everything, then we're like, okay, what is going on? Why are you not believing in the company, right? But they're holding on to a ton of it, which is great news for us. So now we are getting to the point where, the market weakness has been weighing down a lot on the stock. So let's take a look at what we have coming up from future levels of support and future levels of resistance. So I think the first level here is this 2408 level, and then we've got the 2362 that we saw hold up yesterday, and we saw hold up a couple times today that we bounced from, and then we have the low of today, which is 2305. If we keep dropping, we've got the 2248, right? So those are pretty close to each other, but might as well have more levels than less in case we break one. We know exactly what to look at, right? We are at 2446, so we're dropping a little in the after hours. So we're hitting up against this level right now. So 2408, 2362, and then today's low of 2305, and then 2248. On the upside, what we have is the first level we have is a 2539, which we saw briefly breaking today, but couldn't quite sustain it. Then we've got the 2681, and then we've got the 2805. Remember that with this 25 level, we'd be taking over the 8 exponential moving average, which is great news for us. And then we can kind of establish that as support and hopefully start to push up as well, right? So something to keep in mind moving into the week. I think a lot of it also depends on, you know, the market overall, right? The market's been selling off, the market's been weak. The reason Palantir is up today is because ARK bought today. They've bought a lot in recent times, so we need to be mindful of that, right? They're not always going to be able to buy. So we need the market to really turn around for us, and I think we can really start to push up. As you can see, what I really like about today's candle is that we made a low, but we recovered a lot of it, which was really promising to see with Palantir stock. So I hope that that continues. I hope that we remain strong, and I hope that we continue to push up from here. But at the same time, I'm keeping in mind that the S&P 500, so I pointed this out yesterday, right? Similar to last week, I pointed out that, hey, we were in between these two lines. Where do we go from here? And I said, hey, we could go down to the 55 EMA, and I said the same thing yesterday, and we not only went to the 55 EMA, but we went all the way down to pretty much the 89 EMA. Good news is we bounced, right? If you take a look here, we bounced really nicely. Bad news though is we still closed between the 55 and the 89, so I could see downside. Again, I'm hoping, always hoping for a push up to the 55 and that we don't fall, while keeping in mind and sharing with you guys what I see and why it could fall, right? So we need the overall market, which I mean right now if you take a look here, all of them are red in the after hours except for Google being a little bit weird today, thankfully. Well, I don't own any Google, so not really thankfully, but hopefully we see stronger markets soon. Hopefully we stop pulling back and start to push forward. But, while keeping in mind that, more pullback could always be there, because as you could see with the S&P 500 that I just pointed out, we do have a little bit more downside. So that's all I had for you guys today. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys are having an all right week. If it's a red week for you, totally cool. It is for me too. It's all a part of the game. We were pretty overbought. I think we're now getting to the oversold levels. So hopefully we see a reversal coming soon. That's all I had for you guys. As always, hope you guys all have an amazing day on Friday. Hopefully it's a green day for us, and I'll keep you guys posted on that tomorrow. If you liked the video, don't forget to thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Let's remember to be a bit better every single day, and until next time.